The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds, Cruiser Max Vibrance Beans, High Stick NT, and the Manitoba Pulse and Soybean Grower.
So picture yourself, third week of July, standing in your soybean field, trying to make a call on a fungicide application. So these are the points you got to click off in your head. Do I have a big, lush canopy? No air movement down in that canopy at all. Have I had good moisture leading up to this point for the last 2 weeks? Now pull that canopy open and look into that canopy, see what kind of moisture you have down in the canopy. Because the spores, the fungus needs 3 days, 72 hours of continuous wet down in that canopy in order to sprout those spores. The number one problem that growers have in timing fungicides is putting them on too late. So every fungicide product that we have in the marketplace today are protectant products. So you've got to be able to walk that field at that critical time during flowering, look for soil moisture, look for moisture in the canopy, know the history of the crop, know the risk of this particular variety and the row width that you have it in, and every day you're walking that crop and you're deciding, do I have all those conditions in play right now today? Now look at the forecast for the next 5 days. If they're talking a lot of rain in that forecast, then your risk of white mold is very high. And that's when you've got to decide and pull the trigger. So you're going to select a product that has actually some activity on white mold. That's a good place to start. Different products have different rates of activity, so you're going to have to consider that. These products are protectant products, so they have to be put on early on in the disease cycle, before you can actually see the disease in the crop. So you decide to pull the trigger, you're going to apply the product. Application procedure. So let's look at nozzle size and application volume. Okay, nozzle size, fairly fine droplets, but you want to be able to control the size of those droplets. You don't want them too fine, but they have to penetrate all the way down into that crop canopy and protect the base of those stems, because that's where your yield's going to come from, and that's where the disease is going to hit. So down low in the stem, so fairly high pressure, fairly small droplets, and lots of water. You can't use enough water with white mold products. A lot of guys will try to use 5 or 10 gallons. That's not enough. 20 or 30 gallons is what you need to really do a good job penetrating that canopy. So let's spend a minute talking about economics. Yield loss from white mold in dry beans or soybeans can be anywhere from 5 to 60 or 70%. So what do you need as a grower? I would say a minimum of 10% yield loss to justify the use of a product. Don't forget, when you're calculating your economics, look at the product cost, look at the application costs of the product. Don't forget things like tramping damage that you're going to cause driving through the crop. You add all those up, look at the crop value that you're expecting, subtract those costs from that value, assuming a 10% yield loss, and that'll tell you whether you're making money or not.